Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Rao Kulusu. Uh, just opening up my room on wellness and ancient wisdom. Uh, I opened up on the Clubhouse, on the Instagram, and on the Wisdom app, and also on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and also YouTube. You know, so whoever is joining me, whatever platform, welcome, welcome, Bupinder. Um, Glad you joined me, and Gary and Marco. Welcome. Uh, I have been talking about this uh, New Year resolutions, and each letter of the resolution representing something. This morning I talked about relationships, and tomorrow morning I'm going to talk about energy. This room is conducted in the morning at 8 a.m. In the evening 8 p.m. I always do this ancient wellness and ancient wisdom, how they have done it, and people come and pose questions, and we are engaging in conversation, getting some hacks from the ancient wisdom. That way, we can apply them appropriately to our modern lives, stress and strain and burnout. That was the common theme that was going on. And I like the ancient wisdom mainly because they are closer to the nature, which is a need for us right now to really help our nature to recover by itself and also stop the spoiling it. That is the integral part of it, and also they had derived a lot of nurturance from the nature itself. Forest walks, staying in the near the nature, and all that. Those kind of things are also very very important. I think we should revisit them, not only to help the planet but also our personal wellness too. As you know, I always talk about the four pillars of the wellness, which are the food, activity, sleep, and meditation. And then last week we finished the activity. Before that, we finished the food for 5 days. Tomorrow, 8 p.m., I will be talking about the sleep and rest and all that. This room could be a preparatory for that. And you have any questions, we can start answering now and then go from there. Otherwise, I'm going to be generally, I will relate to you what happened. As I was telling you the other day, just before midnight, I was sleeping on the 31st night. And then I woke up, and all these words came for me on the resolutions, like or for the relationship, E for energy, S for the self, O for ojas, L for loving, and U for universality, and uh, other things. Let me get the paper. Okay. Okay. T for Turiya, which is the fourth state that we go through. I for the inwardness, and O for no others, and N for the new things that we are going to do, and S for the service orientation. So I was going to explore these things at length, and which I did. I did a relationship this morning. It's like what is our relationship with existing people, and what is that we are going to do to improve our relationship to ourselves and also to the to the family, to the planet. You can do any number of things. Just visiting them and observing them and making commitment like I'm going to do this to improve my relationship this year. Hello, Gary.
Hello, doctor.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay. So, nice to meet you here. And you have any question or a comment, Gary?
Well, actually, I was just going through some of the clubhouses, and I came across your clubhouse opening here, and I've never really talked to anybody before, and I saw there was just you and me there, so I thought I'd
Yeah.
push the hand button and see what happened.
Yeah, sure, sure. People come slowly to this room, and there will be a few people at the end of it. I'm happy even one person shows up and I could talk to them. That's all right. But Krishna also joined us, and Yeah, this is about me being a doctor and understanding the health needs, and then not really paying attention to the wellness at the individual family level. I bring that perspective. I'm a combination of modern medicine and the ancient wisdom. I myself practice yoga and also other practices from the ancients, being close to the nature and being away from all addictions, things like that. Okay, so I kind of share my experience, my insight into those kind of practices. So they're all non-invasive. I don't get into any of the you know uh, medications or treatments, anything like that. I only talk about how wise they were, being close to the nature, being close to their own internal nature, and they were making a simple life outside, very rich inner life inside, understood the mind better, understood its role, understood what is beyond mind. So those kind of things are very fascinating to me as a physician, because for the mind, I think they have immense contribution to make. So I was going to talk about that. When I developed my focus and attention, I was sleeping better, I was doing my work better, and I was not reacting to the stresses at the work. So I started to coach my burnout colleagues, and then I'm bringing that kind of thing here. I engage people to talk about it, and then they are participating every day. You know. So that's what's happening here, Gary. Do you have any questions regarding stress and strain? Anything that you use?
Well, doctor, I'm 76 years old, and I definitely am a health conscious type of guy.
Yeah.
And I listen to different YouTube videos on how to biohack
Mm,
and how to do different things with your body.
yeah.
As far as uh, you know,
That's excellent. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm just
Yeah.
just interested in what you have to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I do is I just take
I'm
different.
also 66, Gary. But I don't take any medications. Not that I'm against medications, but my point is, you can be well enough not to take medication well into advanced age. If need be, you
Right.
can take them, but you can. And I think you are an example too. 76. Wow, very good.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with my health. Like I said, I really try to read up and do the right things, and I take different activators and things like that, which help me just stay young. I feel really good,
Very good. Very
and so hey, rock
that's very
on.
good. That what can you tell us some of the activators you take, Gary?
Well, uh, they're activators which kind of go through different pathways.
Yeah.
Uh, you, there's one pathway called the NRF2 pathway.
Hmm.
That's a NRF2. It's a protein messenger which helps eliminate what's called oxidative stress.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
And, and oxidative stress is linked to many disease processes. And I
Mhm.
stumbled on a way to reduce the level of oxidative stress in my body.
Yes.
And I was uh, you know,
Yeah.
keyed in on this by one of my friends, so I looked into it.
Mm.
So it's a product called Pretandem. I take it. It's
Yeah.
called Pretandem,
Yeah.
and it seems to work for me and my wife. And then I kind of went off of that into different things too. So
Mm.
all I can say is biohacking and doing good healthy
Yeah.
things work because, like I said, I am 76. I take no medicines. I
Yeah.
do pretty much what I want to do. So, Doc, I just I'm all for
Excellent.
natural stuff.
You are the ideal person I want to present here, because one of the oxidative stress reductions are, you can stretch and deep breathe into it. And as you improve your lung efficiency, you open up more alveoli, more oxygen will be in your system, and you stretch, more tissues away from you will be stretched and they will be demanding blood, and this oxygen rich blood will go in. See, the yogic type of breathing exercise called pranayama. That is what I teach people to do that in the morning too. Simple breathing exercises will be very good for you too.
Well, that's one of the things I do. I do take some deep breathing exercises because
Yeah.
once again that was a a TED talk on some individual doctor who talks about breathing exercises. So I kind of
Excellent. Yeah.
works that into my repertoire.
Yeah. You are the model I'm talking about. I was always telling people I'm doing this, but then I'm very glad that you came up and you tell, oh yeah, I do that too. Very nice, So I'm
Thank
so
you.
I'm so happy that you are doing them. See, even it depends on the genes, but also our lifestyles. Do you sleep very well? Probably, right, Gary?
I didn't hear that.
Do you sleep well?
Yeah, I go to bed almost every night between 10 and 10:15,
Mm,
and that's because about 10 or 10:15, I just my body goes into the shutdown. It's like wow, I just really get tired, and when I
yes.
do lay down, I go to sleep really fast,
Mm,
and I may wake up once in the middle of the night,
mm.
but not every time. But no, I sleep good.
Very good, very good. See, this is what I was talking about. I wanting people to take care of their health better by eating right, exercising, and sleeping better. And also, in this day and age, with all this information overload, I'm asking them to empty the mind twice a day. That way
Okay.
lot of people are suffering because of that excessive news. In your generation and my generation, we didn't have so much assault of the news. We were able to enjoy our life, and then maybe occasionally we watch the news, maybe half an hour in the evening. Now, the entire world is coming to us. Especially the kids. So they kind of developing a very much addiction, like to the phones and the information and all the social media also are not helping to improve their attention. That's a big concern for us physicians. We see more.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't have a real strong opinion on that.
Mm,
There is one problem, doctor, that I have, and that's slightly. Sometimes I have a difficult time understanding exactly all of the different words that people say, and I
mm.
missed a few of your words. Could you just sum up what your question was again? Was it about listening to too much news and staying
Yeah.
too fogged up in your mind?
Yeah. Too much information is coming in, and all that is not wisdom, and also all that is not truth either. So people are really suffering excessive information, unnecessary information, and taking their attention away from regular tasks and all that. Relationships are not good because people are not engaging like you and me were talking in a conversation. That is becoming very rare. Most of the people are chatting or sending messages and all that. That's a concern.
Well, Well, I totally agree with you there because if you do get too much information overload into your mind,
Yeah,
it just kind of agitates you and confuses you. It causes you to just have negative opinions in many cases. So,
yeah,
so I have just within the last few months kind of pulled back on watching a lot of different news, and I
yeah.
just enjoy my life and do what I do.
Yeah. You see, I even have to do classes about decluttering our mind from all this uh, too much information. And people are really appreciating that. And they are affected because they can't sleep very well. They are insomniac. And then they just get up in the middle of the night and they can't go back to the sleep too. Um, how is your mind? Do you experience silence sometimes, Gary?
Do I experience what?
Silence, silence.
Oh, that's probably something that I could
Use.
do more of. I do
Yeah,
not
I
like
can,
pull back.
I can teach you some few things which you can do, and then you will be able to experience the silence. One thing is when you get up in the morning, first thing in the morning, don't let all the information rush in. Okay,
Okay,
just pay attention to the nature around you. Attention means you're going to watch the tree without making any comment. Just observe how it is. It may be swaying in the wind, it may be sun falling on it, it may be having the snow, whatever weather you have. Just observe that without making any comment, judgment, nothing. Okay, and then
okay.
don't touch any phone, any device for half an hour to 1 hour after you get up. Okay,
Don't touch what?
phone or any of the devices for the social media.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, people look at right away, right? And
Hmm.
then during the day, whatever you do, pay complete attention to it.
Okay.
One thing at a time, pay complete attention to that. During multitasking, each task just to pay attention to it. Then,
Sounds good.
yeah, then you will discover so many things are coming to you, either from the past or from the into the future. You will be seeing all the thoughts are coming at you. Then all you have to do is bring back your attention to the task at hand. You know, you are talking to your
Sure.
wife, just complete attention to it. Okay, you are
Okay.
you are really sweeping or doing something, cleaning the carpet, whatever, complete attention. Whatever you are doing, play or work or rest, complete attention. That really makes the thought go down quite a bit. At the same time, you will be doing things in flow. So
Okay.
your quality of work will be much better. The important thing is, as you are paying attention to each task, you are not accumulating any unnecessary information.
Okay.
You are paying attention to this task, you are on that. But then you go to the next one, you are on that. So you are not taking anything from the previous task to yours. Okay.
Okay.
That way, at the night time, brain doesn't have to work to dream to put your mind in order.
Sure.
Then your thoughts slow down, and then when they slow down, you will find the silence between two thoughts, and then you
Okay.
hold on to it, and then eventually you will be periods of time there's complete silence, which is very enriching actually. That is my state. I'm kind of in silence and using the thought.
Okay.
Thought doesn't
You
drive
know,
me. Yeah, you can come to that very easily because you are kind of 76, you are doing so many things to the body. Now
well,
you want.
that's kind of what I was going to say. Being 76, I am retired. I am
Yeah.
financially not rich, but I'm certainly financially able to pretty
Mm.
much come and go as I want to do.
Yeah.
And I happen to live in the country, so
Mm.
one of my areas where I do excel, and maybe that's why I am uh, as, as healthy as I am. Is I do relax a lot. I do a lot of
Yeah.
neat things outdoors. I shoot and I shoot my bow and arrow.
Yeah.
I pitch horseshoes. I do a lot of fun things outdoors.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That is the thing, very important. But when you're shooting the arrow, how focused you are, like that, be with everything.
Well, when you're shooting the arrow,
Mm.
there's two different ways to shoot. There's kind of like how you different ways to aim and use anchors to make
Yeah,
sure you can shoot straight,
yeah.
or you can just kind of use what's called instinctive shooting, and
Mm.
that's what I do. I
Mm.
just focus on the target, the bullseye, or
Mm.
the target that I'm shooting, and then I envision in my mind how it's all going, and then I just let them go, and I'm
Excellent,
getting better.
excellent. Yeah, that happens with when you're doing it. Uh, this focus will come back doing things when you're doing so with the same attention. You don't have invading thoughts. That is our problem because people are listening to the music and then also watching the TV and also doing some work of reading book and all. That doesn't work. It actually takes the brain torture one to one like that. Most of the people are doing, Gary. They are not spending like you are doing. You know, that's what I
No,
really,
no,
yeah, really appreciate because we know what it is to be like in the nature, and we know what is the forest bathing. We know how to enjoy the nature because you pay attention to the birds, you pay attention to the leaves, you pay attention to the wind. So when you get out, you pay attention.
and you pay attention to the smells in the air,
Yeah,
the difference of how
yeah,
fern smells and how leaves smell and how
yeah,
cut grass
yeah.
smells.
And that's a big reason why you are so well in the 70s because you have so much of nature loving energy going into you.
Amen.
Hmm. So you can catch the silence between two thoughts if you can slow down the thought. Yeah, try that. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate and also communicate with me. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm very happy to meet you because you are the model that I was always looking for. you know, but
Well,
what
thank
I
you, Doctor. It was fun for me.
yeah, yeah, because this is what can be possible, especially centurions and all that. They take it easy, most of them. They don't take too serious about things unless they are important. And then when they do them with attention. And the longevity of the yoga practitioners or the people in Japan, in Okinawa, they studied them. They found out most of the people don't take things so serious. They let it go and then they enjoy life. They enjoy the nature and then they take care of their body and mind, which you are doing, Gary. So,
Well, Doctor, that's kind of easy for me to do, but I'll tell you this: the younger generation, they have so many things that they have to do. They have to, they have to make an income. They have
yeah,
to take care of kids. They
sure,
have to,
sure.
they have to, do so many different. I'm kind of glad
Yeah.
that I'm past all of that.
Yeah, but I am kind of, as a physician, I have a duty to let them know, communicate with them what can be possible. Hopefully, people will pick those hacks and then apply that into their life. I teach them how to pay attention, how to take care of their body, how to really meditate and then empty their minds, how to sleep well. All those things I'm teaching because I coach burnout victims in my profession. And also
Okay,
I coach IT people who are stressed out. And that is because they are having these work routines are really at our time we used to have daytime work or nighttime work and then we used to sleep other times. But they have 24-hour work sometimes. It's very difficult. I understand their difficulties. So I'm trying to do my bit to help them.
well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Been very enjoyable, and I definitely resonate particularly with your uh, views on kind of calming down
Yeah.
and starting out in the morning
Yeah.
quietly without grabbing the phone and checking the cryptos
Yeah.
and catching the news, and maybe I'll still look at the radar for weather.
Especially the first 1 hour after we get up, very important for us to be, in awareness, not in thought. People miss that. They lose the awareness the moment you go from morning and then to the evening, and then you are sleeping on those active mind in the morning. Again, active mind, it never stops after a while. That is the problem with a lot of people.
Got it.
Yeah. Very nice meeting you, Gary. Really. Let's see. Anybody else wants to come up and talk about anything? I'm open for that. you know. Even on the wisdom app, people can come up and we can talk to. You know. Otherwise. As I was telling about this relationships, I was talking this morning. I was talking about how we can have. Uh, with our own self, or what we are really. Are we just the body and mind, or are we that awareness behind, and then body and minds are our instruments? That's something people have to know as early possible, and then they can really control their body and mind much better. This instinctive thing, you are a little different from the mind and the thought, and then you can really regulate the thought better. Other thing I was talking about extensively was what is the relationship to the planet? Because we ancients used to have a relationship with the nature. Even Gary also having a lot of relationship with the nature. I think that is our natural mother. So we kind of use the mother earth, and then we came from that. We will go there, five elements. So that was really explored in the ancients, and they were very aware that they're part of the earth, and so they did not hurt the earth, they did not pollute it. They were in touch with the earth, the water, air, sky, and the fire, all those elements, right? So how you They even worshipped them as gods, right? And then they were really reverent to it. They don't really do damage to the earth like we are doing. Stop plastic and review what is that I'm doing in terms of my relationship with the earth, and then identifies one or two things that you could change. Maybe conserve the water, maybe conserve the power, maybe don't pollute the atmosphere with a lot of wastage. Even to be having simple life, minimalism, they are taking that up. But I would like to see more people are aware of the minimalism rather than rampant consumerism. So we talked about all that, so that this is a good time to resolve what is that relation I have with myself, with my family, with my country, with my world, with my planet, like that, just simple things that we could see and change so that that relation will be better for us, like Gary was going and spending time outdoors. That's an excellent thing, even if I winter, I kind of bundle up and go out and then walk. I used to walk in the forest place in Chicago when it was very, very cold. That's how I acclimatize, but I also enjoyed the nature when it is fully snowed and all that. We have to dress appropriately, we have to protect from the ice and all that. But I did not allow my body to be, hibernate in the house, those kind of things. And then when the summer came, we are full blast, that kind of things also will help our health a lot, instead of sucking into the extreme weather, we try to acclimatize, then we'll be having more resistance immunity wise also. That's something I always tell people. Go face the sun and let the sun make vitamin D for you, and also skin disorders also will be gone. And also you have to really exercise under the sun, which is very good for us. Of course, I am favorite for the sun salutations when the sun is up, but not necessarily you have to do only that. You can do any exercise that you like. Just move the body, keep the mind silent. That is the mantra I would like to convey to everybody. If we can do that, uh, very, very, all this entertainment, TV, and all that is making people sit and have the creature comforts without realizing that is really aging them and then really making them ill in so many ways. And also moving the mind all the time, even though when we are working, we are studying something, we need that, but beyond that we don't need that, right? But people let it go whichever direction it is, and then they are up late into the night. All those things are really making their mind go all the time, especially in this information age when people have to work towards that, right, all the time. And that is really going against them all the time, so pay attention to that, that relationship with your earth, with your nature, with your family, and that's what I was talking about this morning. Tomorrow I'm going to take up E, that is energy. Are there ways to really increase energy, or are there ways to not to deplete energy? And that is what I found very fascinating, is when I found the energy depletion by toxic people, or this unnecessary gossip from the social media, or just lack of interest in what we are doing, not focusing. So many things we can identify that can deplete our energy. I think that's what we do most of the time. We deplete our energy, and then we complain we don't have energy, and then we take something like a smoke or alcohol, which is really not good if you really want to have optimum health. I think everybody knows about it, but they don't pay attention till they become a problem. That's why I'm inviting people to pay attention to their entire day. Take suppose if you have a good breathing practice, suppose you are sleeping very well, suppose you are doing nutritious food appropriately, and also you are using your thought only for the work and not for everything else, and you're more focused and in flow, then you will spend less energy and you feel good after the work is done. So all those things, unnecessary thoughts is the chief depletion of energy in this era. because the people have thousands of thoughts if you allow it to go. So you want to bring it back to present moment and slow down the thought. Then you can go beyond thought also. No, no, that is what I was always telling about. It is a very blissful, serene experience to be away from the thought like that. That's what I was always telling people. So I think, yeah, I
Hi there. Thank you so much for the opportunity here. What based on what you were just mentioning about depleting the energy,
yeah.
suppose someone who is actually trying to save his energy by not doing all those things that you have mentioned.
Yeah.
So, what should he do with this energy now?
Oh,
And how should he consume this energy?
yeah, you can produce better, you can work better, you can pay attention to the relationship better, and then you can enjoy yourself better too. Not in this spectator sport and all that, but if you are involved in the sport, or if you have engaged with the activity, or you have meaningful activity, your energy will be not only not depleted, but you will be conserving it, and which is very good for in the long run. Otherwise, you are depleting, and then you are kind of trying to get, and then again depleting. All that is unnecessary. I find myself doing lots of things because I conserve my energy. And there's so much. Say I do so many rooms in this one, and from morning till now, I met so many people, so many interesting people. That was all very nice. So you can enhance your life. See, one of the chief problems we identified is most of the world now, it's not just West only, but West used to be only the one, East was kind of low, but now everybody is doing without paying attention to their inner being. So the emptiness, the loneliness, the addictions, a lot of them are happening because nobody pays attention to their inner self from the beginning. So we are teaching them when they will burn out, I will come back and balance it. Do your stuff, but also pay attention to what's happening within you. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you fulfilled? Are you having good time, quality time with your family? Are you really going after what your heart really wants? Or do you find your job like a cog in the wheel? All those things are observed. Finally, it comes to lack of attention to the bee. So you can conserve energy while you are doing all the work unnecessarily, not wasting it, and then use that to go inside and find out who you are. That's what I did. So I recommend to everybody. Not a psychoanalysis, but just observing what I'm made up of, what do I want to do, what is meaningful for me. I think that is much more vigorous and very requires a lot of energy to go, even to sit down and then turn inside. A lot of people don't know how to do that. Does that help you, Yoga?
Absolutely, yeah. So, thank you so much.
Yeah. So I think that's a very good question, though, because most of the people have the energy when they are young and in the youth run, right? But afterwards, they kind of uh, don't have that energy. So it is important for them to know what is life, what are the things out there that they can work on. Like it is very difficult to learn all these things after a lifetime of habits accumulated, and then you want to do them, require them. Your mind also gets set in a certain way. This is the modern neuroscience is showing us. A lot of people form these habits in their mind, and they cannot break away from them, right?
Hey, doctor.
Yeah,
Hey, this is Gary. I have to go now. I every
yeah,
so often I do an exercise program, so that's what I'm heading for now.
yeah. Very good. Thank you for joining us, Gary. Nice meeting you.
Bye bye.
Bye. So Gary is the ideal. I'm so happy to see him because he is kind of 76, has no medications. He kind of spends a lot of time outdoor, and also he's full of energy, and so he's doing exercise. He's eating well, and he spends a lot of time outdoor, and he has practices archery. I didn't know him. He popped up, and I'm so happy that he came in. And he's an inspiration to me, and probably some of you also. But I find him very inspiring, for what he was doing. Um, that is actually the genes and also this longevity. People who are centurions, we are studying them. One common thing what Gary told me he also has is he takes things very lightly. He doesn't take them to the heart and then take them serious and then hang on to the negative things. That is something. The one study they did in Okinawa, Japan, they also were like that. So centurions. So long life and being healthy is a trend of these people who are taking life easy, but at the same time they have focus and they have a lot of good habits, all those diet and exercise, everything that we are talking about. Girija, welcome. So you missed a lot, a very good discussion. You missed Gary too.
Good morning, doctor.
Good morning, teacher. You just missed Gary, who is a 76-year-old, popped up in the room,
Oh,
and then he was a model of what we are talking about. He is very healthy. He doesn't take any medications. I mean therapeutic medications, and then he spends a lot of time outdoors. He's an archery person. He had to do exercise. That's why he just left, and then you came up. Anyway, it's very nice meeting him. So, you have any questions, Girija, or comments that you want?
sir, I just joined, so I wouldn't really know. But
That's
then,
fine. That's
if you
fine.
could just gist of what you spoke, if you can just let me know. Thank you.
Yeah, we were speaking in general because today is not the topic, right? I was telling them what I talked about relationship this morning, and
Perfect.
tomorrow I'm talking about energy. We were talking about energy depletion. You know, I think Noga had a question about that, and we are talking about that. Yeah, let's see. She's here for a long time. Maybe she has some question. Nandana Rao. Okay. Hi.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Rao. I mean, it's not a question, but then it's just that I just wanted to say that thank you. I've been listening to what you have been speaking, and I feel that the knowledge that you're spreading, it is quite wonderful. In fact, I just wanted to say that the knowledge that is freely available to us, but then I think it's because of our comfort zone that we like to be in, that we do not take the things that are very freely available to us until and unless it really becomes too late, and then we realize that yes, we need to start take action. But then when we see people like you spreading this knowledge, then maybe we can start taking these steps a little earlier rather than late, and then see major improvements happening in our life, because I really like the points that you have been pointing out, which are very simple and very freely available without any cost. So taking them up
Yeah.
I think would really help people. The topics in terms of
Yeah.
energy depletion, the topics in terms of being outdoors and then enjoying the sun. I think they are really valid and also
Yeah.
very important and needed for people now, especially when we are just shut
Yeah.
indoors and then not being able to get out much. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to say thank you to you.
Yeah. Sure,
Yes,
Nandana.
Nandana, I second you completely. And Dr. Rao gives simple tips, but they're so effective, so powerful. So I'm really so happy to be associated with him and this, wonderful. He brings it out every single day. I mean, hats off, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you.
What it is there is a model of doctor from ancient times. Of course, we have the need for money, modern doctors, because everything runs through the money. But then the greed doesn't have to be there, right? Like you are doing money just for the money's sake. But what the model they showed me was they kind of turned inward and realized who they are, and that is very fulfilling and very serene and blissful thing. Once you discover that, then they went around and helped the world. That is the model I wanted to follow. And fortunately, all the meditations, all the study and learning from that. Especially Ramana Maharshi, he pointed out, don't read books outside, read the book within you, that you are, what kind of disposition you have, what kind of habits you have. And if you can just turn it around with the meditativeness, you can easily identify. Suppose you are addicted to smoking, it doesn't take much to realize. Fortunately, I don't have any habits like that, so it was easier probably. But also the inclination of finding about the mind, modern versus ancient, that was very revealing, because the rishis, I think we should be thankful for. And all I'm doing is doing my role as a physician in the modern times, bring some of the wisdom, add it to the modern medicine. It will improve our health. And also, the culture, the civilization evolved such a way, people are to be reminded sometimes, like Nandana, you were saying, everybody knows, eat properly, exercise a little bit and sleep well, and also keep your mind clean. But then there's so many things that attack you, like for example, they don't let you get up in the morning and exercise because you want to have a late night concert or movie, right? That is the culture, like and then kids are getting this very early, and then we are not able to get them out of it, then other thing is, they may attack us with the social media. Unless you have control, you know how to do it. That's why I'm doing a separate class of decluttering the effects of the social media. How can you do that? You can do that. So I have to attend to that class when I do that. But that kind of some of the things we have to do, because it has pervaded the entire culture. It is going to be more worse after the AI. There are so many good benefits of the AI, but there are going to be a lot of attack on the spiritual aspects of our human race. We have to be very careful about that. So what I am doing is, instead of just by myself, if I follow my spiritual ways, and I'm very happy, peaceful, don't have any problems with anybody like that. But at the same time, people call me for really going through rough time. Then you got to reach out and tell them, right? You got to reach out and work with them. Actually, I find that very meaningful for me. When I'm coming and talk to you, and you guys are listening, that's very meaningful for me. It's not like ego boosting or anything, but it's meaningful, because it's like kind of you are meant to serve people like that. Ramana teaches a lot of good things that are very, very important. You don't have to read any of the scholastic books. You have to know how to read yourself, and then you can do lots of things. Girija, I heard that you are in the communications, right?
Yes, sir.
Uh, One thing I always say, probably you are doing this, you may identify with it when you do that. Suppose you are intellectually, emotionally available to the other person without being psychologically busy, then the communication happens spontaneously, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, because she's a
That's so
professional.
true.
Yeah, Girija works on that communication as a professional. That's why she knows how to keep her mind quiet so that she can listen to the other person. And also, she can be emotionally available, so she will be available empathetically to the other person's situation, not saying this is the way it should be done. All those qualities that they enhance were amazing. And then they are very nurturing also. That's what I want people to get reintroduced. They were there, but they were not presented in a way that they can understand. Either they have to follow a religion, or you have to be bowing before somebody who calls himself a guru. All those things, I think I kind of take it off, and then I kind of come here. My company name is Be a Pal. That means be a friend. That's it. Maybe you know a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If I can just, yeah, what you said is so true. We don't have to tell people do this, do that. It's the way whatever information you want to give it in such a way that everyone is, understands that. That's why I say I trying to introduce life skills to young people instead of telling them that, oh, you should be doing this. No one wants to listen to all that. So that's what I do, doctor. By way of activities, I bring it into that. So that makes them really want to learn, whether it's confidence, your esteem, or your communication skills, which may be lacking because we're so bogged down by academics. We must do well, we must score. The scoring has taken over. So life skills are lost somewhere. So exactly, you're right. I love to share what I know because that's the way to go about it. Like you're sharing all your wisdom to us, and it's I must say, so helpful every single day. So this is exactly what I love to do, doctor.
Yeah. You see, other thing is, I agree with you, Girija, completely true. Don't tell them. Be a model. Do them, and then they will do it. Like I do yoga in the morning. You all see that. I eat very healthy, and I keep my mind quiet all the time, and also I sleep very well. Even I have 3 hours sleep, I have very quality sleep. There is a way to do that. It's not a big mystery. But I don't take any wine or anything like that. I don't smoke or those kind of small things we have to cultivate. How we can do it is this inward orientation toward the blissfulness is so good, all the outward pressures fall off. They don't have the same attraction. So that is there. If you examine their lifestyles, also what they did, first 25 years they studied. They don't have any of this romantic involvement, none of it, right? And then next 25 years they were having this grosthashrama where they kind of uh, went for the job and all of that. And then 50 to 75 they contributed to the world, giving back. And 75 to 100, if they survived, they turned inward and find out who they are. And that wisdom was given to the growing children and working adults and all that. Only the adults work so that they can take care of the kids and also the elderly. That was a very tight that is family structure that was there, and that was made out of these immense insights that they have into human nature, what is needed according to the age. So I think Indians are really unfortunate. They dumped all that and then aping the West, which is inherently weak because they go after the senses and external things. So you got to understand that. See, look at Gary, how balanced he is, how happy he is, how stable, how disciplined he is. That kind of things are rare in this society. But we can bring them. First, we have to do it, Girija. Otherwise, we have no right to tell other people. That's what we are doing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Uh,
You're so right. Unless you do it, I mean, how do you expect others to do
yeah.
anything which we ourselves are not?
Yeah. Actually, Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita. Don't pretend or don't preach or don't tell people just because you wrote a book and all. Is this in your life or not? You have to see in your conscience. And then you can really go and other thing is there a teacher outside there, or the teacher is within us? Somebody may inspire us to bring it out. So I don't call myself a teacher. I'm more like a somebody who is interested in these matters, and I like a doctor. I look at these things, right? And if the people are suffering, my duty is to help whatever I can do to relieve that suffering. It's as simple as that. And when you do that, you don't say, "Oh, I'm so great" and all that. You just do it because you are acting like a doctor for so many things, and there may be money structure underneath that to, because if I don't make money, I can't even pay the bills, then I can't do anything else, that kind of thing. But it's the greed that I have problem with. If only money is important, if I get a lot of money I'll be very happy, that is kind of a bad attitude, I think. So if you can balance that, you will be more happy discovering all the things. That's one thing for sure is outward things will not give you happiness. They may give you pleasure for a few, but then afterwards they are done. That's what they said. Dharma the kama moksha. If you take it, you make money in a dharmic way. That means dharmic is a righteous way, and then desires also them according to the natural way. But they are unfulfilling after a while. However much money you have, you won't be satisfied. however much desirous thing, all these things are there, you won't be. But what is forever fulfilling is turning inward and quieting the mind and really identifying with who you are, realizing who you are. So that is a very special knowledge that they had. The Shrutis and Smritis, they are not based on the memory, they are based on their intuition. So we should salute them for doing the hard work and putting it out there. We can't even, learn and improve our lives. What actually, Girija, what I'm talking about is very, very superficial things I'm talking about. But if you really understand what they went inside and really go human potential, there's so much more. But it cannot be enticing. It has to be personal inquiry and personal inquiry. Sometimes they may not be ready also. So that's why I always ask me questions. Then we'll talk about it rather than giving a speech. I don't like to give speeches, but I like to have people ask me questions or tell me things that I don't know. That would be more, um, you know, interactive is better, right? Rather than just one person talking all the time.
Yes, your point about being ready is very correct.
Yeah.
Because they have to be ready. We may speak, with full intentions. We
Yeah.
really want people to, go it like you said, looking inwards and all. But then they need to be ready, and I think that
Yeah.
comes with listening and looking inwards and thinking, yes, now I think I can do it.
Yeah.
So many people are going into it.
Yeah.
You would know better.
Like I said, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana. This is the way for all the everybody. First, listen. That's what we talked about earlier. Listen, complete attention. Listen without any predisposition, without any prejudices. You don't have to agree. Just listen. The act of listen should be complete, and then don't agree, go and doubt it. That is manana. That means you have to contemplate, you have to reflect on it, you have to question it, you have to doubt it, and all that. After all your investigation, it's your duty to find out whether it's truth or not. I think a lot of people don't do that. That's why these gurus exploit them. And then you find out, and then once you found out, Nididhyasana is where you allow that to reflect in your life. Is it real in your life? Are you following that in the life or not? That is the most important step. People just listen and then listen some more tomorrow and they forget this. It's like a random memory wiping off. Every time you shut off the computer at the night time, you go to sleep. In the morning when you get up, all that is gone. You know. So this requires inquiry. You have to do a lot of work for this too. I am very blessed, I feel like Girija, because not only modern medicine, but also this ancient ways. I think that is the uh, biggest blessing happened to me. I consider myself really blessed by that kind of thing. So sharing it is a pleasure. Actually, you know what happens when I share, it becomes more impregnated within me.
Always sharing is caring is
Yeah.
absolutely, that line is so,
Yeah.
whatever we share, whether it's anything, your wisdom, your
Yeah.
whatever you have, you share it with others.
Yeah.
That gives so much of happiness.
That's why I'm kind of tired of this. Even though people come or not, I don't think I'm very good at advertising and telling people to bring people. None of that. I ask them to join my club, but even if they do or not, I don't care really. And that's why if few people come, that's okay. I want to do what I want to do. I will do it. That's it.
Exactly.
So anybody else has a question? Or Nandana, you have anything else to comment?
Yes, Doctor. I mean, previously I was listening to you, and you said that between the two thoughts, you should be able to catch the gap.
Yes.
So I was just wondering. I mean, this is something that I have been hearing for a long time, and I think that is what you actually have to focus on, even while you're doing your meditation. But then, I mean, if you can make it easy for all the others in the room, as well as me included, as to how to be able to do that. I mean, without giving, I mean, maybe it takes practice to reach there, but if there's any other a way which can be used to do it a little more
Yeah.
easily, then I'd love to listen.
Yeah, I will get a simple steps that you could do. First of all, Don't aim for a state. Okay, don't aim like oh, Dr. Rao said it is I have to catch. Don't aim for that. First, see where you are. Suppose you have lot of desperate thoughts going all over, try to get them concentrated. That's your first task. Okay, then that means suppose you are doing a upasana like a breathing in and out, you're concentrating on that, and then you start with that act, and as you're breathing your thoughts will rise and come because they will be subconscious as some skaras, right? And they will come. So when they come, deliberately bring your attention back to the breathing. Okay, that is the concentration. You can use nama rupa also is invented for that. Actually, Nirvikara, uh, Sarvantaryami, that is the definition of the God, right? But if you cannot go there, have a picture or a murti in front of you so that your attention will be focused on that. You know, that is the thing with the bhakti yoga is you have something to focus on and you have some energy behind it all that. And later on you can realize the energy behind it. But at least use it for focus and use it for concentration. And do this every day, same time, same place if you can help it. At the time, don't have any of the distractions as much. The distractions will come from your memory or your mind is going into the future. So your duty is just to be here and now, focusing on the breath so that the thoughts will be concentrated. It will be. And then as you develop this passion to all the things, it becomes much easier. That's the difficulty with the modern practices. People try to do the shutting down the mind and then go back and then make it busy again and then even shutting down. That is why people are not able to do that. But if you go with a mind that's already organized and stabilized and then focused, you can do the work very well, but you want to have the discussion. Anyway, first step is realize your thought is concentrated or not. If it is not, do that first. And then as you do it slowly, you have to understand these dispositions that you have. You're thinking certain way, they all come up. So let them come up and you be the witness, not somebody who is going to stop them. No, you just watch the thoughts, both in and out, what is happening, watch. Be the witness consciousness, we call it. Sakshi Buddha. Be the Sakshi, be the witness, observer, or watcher, whatever. And then as you begin to watch, they will subside down too. Or you can allow them to come in the sky like the cloud comes and goes, like that you have to watch. Don't reject it, don't indulge in it. That's the second stage. Okay, that will take several months probably. And then you come to only one thought. After thoughts slow down, you come to only one thought. And once you have one thought, you can go beyond it. And then the thoughts slow down so much, you will be able to see the gap between them. It may be fleeting, even only one or two times in the beginning. But then once you catch it, it will not go. You will be in the silence because all your thoughts are coming from that silence. You are crowding that so much, you only see the thoughts, you don't see the silence. Is that simple, Nandana?
Absolutely, doctor. I mean, it's very simple. The only thing is the consistency that's required. I mean, I really underline the point that you said, wherein you said that we just need to be doing it consistently every day at the same time, maybe if possible, or even if it's not possible that we do it at the same time, maybe we do it
Yeah,
regularly. And I think that is where most of us go wrong because usually life simple things are the most difficult ones.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I think it requires a really great will to be doing it in that
yeah,
fashion. Yeah.
yeah. Initially, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes like a real pleasure, and then you know you feel the relief of not having so many thoughts, and also you will be doing things in a focused way. So you won't really have these thoughts impinging on you and taking your energy away. So you'll have more energy as you practicing this, and then thought will be your instrument. Right now, you are the instrument of thought.
Doctor, the deep breathing which we were talking
Yeah,
about, I think last week maybe,
yeah,
that's another thing which I introduce to my students as
yeah,
well as the teacher training programs I do.
yeah,
Because that is really a, like you use the word focus,
yeah,
you really are focused on whatever you're doing, the smallest of things.
yeah.
That deep breathing really makes such an effort, effect, clarity is
Yeah.
there, everything,
That is
so deep
given.
breathing.
That's why I said come back to the breathing. When the thoughts are all over, focus on the thought, come back to the breathing, because breathing and thought have this same shakti from which they come, both of them, right? So if you slow down the breathing, thoughts also will slow down.
And also, you had mentioned that you don't have to, limit it to a single, like in the morning you do it and not at all.
Yeah,
Like even when you're driving and you're at a
yeah,
stop signal, you can do
yeah.
the deep breathing. I was
Girija,
telling this to some people.
Girija, you're learning very well. Thank you for
Thank you.
that.
So
Yeah,
actually, the thing is, if we want to, I mean,
yeah,
like I do life skills, if I want to see that
yeah.
it's inculcated into them, I should be also, open to
Exactly.
learning, which
Yeah,
I am
yeah, yeah,
completely.
definitely. No doubt about it. That's the way to word it. But then Nandan asked a very basic question. But then what happens after Nandana, like Gija was talking about, why do you have to do only that time? Why can't you do it all the time? That is the case with me. That's why I don't have the depletion of energy, because I'm only focusing on what trying to talk to you guys right now. I don't have anything from tomorrow and all those things. I will only attend to them when that is there. Suppose being a doctor, I'm quite used to people calling me for emergencies. At the time also, I take them fully. I have a measure, even if I'm in the meeting, they can send text through my watch. It's always next to me. I can see in the watch, then I know it's an emergency. I can respond to it. So you arrange those things in life. But then what Nandana's question was, how do we catch that silence? But you can do all the time. Like I told Girija, if you are a red light, you will stop. Just take deep breaths there. And also, what happens is when you go to the, like, I'm being a doctor, if I have to see the patient, I see them one at a time, right? My complete focus on that particular patient, and also among them on the particular task. If I'm taking his blood pressure myself, then I'll focus on that. If I'm talking to him, I want to listen to him first, before I talk to him. And that kind of attention to what I'm doing every task comes naturally, because you are not taken away by the desperate thoughts. So first thing is always concentration, then watching the thought, then slowing down the thought, then going one. Then other thing is, since Girja brought up those other things, what it is you have to be one pointed thought, and then you got to find out where it came from and stay in that. Really, we call it Atman. Uh, Somebody may call it awareness. Somebody may call it consciousness. Whatever, that is where those thoughts are coming from. You got to find that place and stay there. That is very, very serene, peaceful, blissful self. Once you landed up there, that means you establish your mind into that. You remember the Gayatri mantra? In that, two important words are, when it says Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha, and then Tatsaviturvarenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Dhimahi. Dhi is the spiritual heart, Mahi is the mind. You have landed the mind in that spiritual heart. And once you have landed that spirituality, that should tell your intellect, grow. Dhiyo yona is the next important thing. Those are the two words that are important. And then that all those spiritual powers are very powerful. Anyway, I don't want to go too much into that, because that could be esoteric and some people will be annoyed with me, because why are you bringing all those things down? But what I'm saying is there's so much depth. Have you heard about two types of meditation? The entire world, almost entire world, is doing what is called, uh, Manu Laila. The other thing is Manu Nasha. What it is Manu Laila is, you are keeping your personality, your ego, and everything, and then you're trying to stop it once in a while. You know, That is Manolaya. That's what is mindfulness, all these things people are doing. But real thing is Mano Nasha, where you have destroyed that ego and personality, but you retained your intellectual powers in a major way. And then you become really meditative all the time and using the thought as your slave, ego as your slave. Is that too much, Nandana?
No, doctor, it is a real pleasure to be hearing all this. So it's definitely not too much. In fact, this is something that we all should be taking in, And now that Girija is also here, I thought I just thought maybe something I'd like to share. I mean, now you're in communication, so I've been in that field too. So I think that this is the knowledge that our children are missing out, because what we teach them is mostly competition. What we teach them is
Yeah,
mostly gathering things up rather than sharing it in a heartfelt way, because when they grow up, it is too late because they're already stressed. In fact, we are slightly more luckier wherein we had a value system intact and we had
exactly.
seen that environment wherein sharing was really important. But then when we look
Exactly.
at the environment right now,
Exactly.
it's like your heart goes out to them, because they do not see such kind of environment or such kind of system in place right now. So I think our education system would do a lot more better to them should we inculcate these values, should we give this
Yeah.
knowledge to them. So they would be so much more happier, so much more healthier, and they
Important.
would turn out to be more giving to the world.
Important to do that because the modern fast pace and modern excess information is really causing a lot of problems not only with children but also young adults too. So I'm kind of concerned about it, so that's why we try to do our bit to bring this, especially as a doctor. I was able to really look at these problems growing up in my practice. Attention deficits have become too much. I was treating young children, right? And also obesity, and also this not able to really study very well.
Uh, if I could just add something to what Nandana said, it was
Yeah,
very, she's so right about it, Unless and until you cannot expect, even I would say, if some things have to be from the family itself, if expecting things to happen in school and, teachers inculcating these habits, um, to an extent, okay, but lots has to come from within, meaning from the family. Now, if we are taught or at least shown the way, I would say shown the way rather, being grateful for what all we have, giving people, with a good feeling. Yeah, yeah, you want to share what you have. So many of the things which can be at home itself. So no one has to teach them, you have to be grateful, you must do this or you must do that. All that too much of telling will not help. But there's one small incident I would just like to share. It was in a school where I was had a teacher training program. And the principal, I told her, the young children, maybe even if they are 7 or 8, whatever, from that there onwards, ask them after the weekend to come and write down, written down statements to come and read it out. What did they that weekend? What were they grateful for? What did they do for others or what others did for them? So that way, even the confidence of coming up front and speaking, as well as that thought that we should be grateful, already seeps into you. Not being told, practice this, do this. No one will do any of it. But if this comes as a natural process, it will be there in them.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that is the spirit I wanted to see. So that actually, what I'm talking about is a very minimal thing. What we found out from the ancient is extraordinarily useful for us in these modern times. But like as we said, they have to be ready to receive it. So slowly, people are responding, and people are coming, but then they come for a couple of days and then they disappear. That's why I feel like maybe I'm being too much for them sometimes, driving them away. But otherwise, if they are asking me questions, I can answer them. But everybody comes and says, what is meditation? That's not the right way to learn. I'm not here to give everything every day. You want to see some kind of advance. Like Nandana brought in that silence between thought. That's an excellent thing for people to follow. And also, Girja brought in all the time doing. Then I have to tell you the real thing. So that manonasha is very difficult for people because people are operating out of their ego and they think if they do that, their entire skills and everything will go. No, what goes away is your restlessness of the mind and your dullness of the mind. So it's kind of a purified mind you will have after that. And then just be is very, very simple. I think that is the secret. If you just be yourself, then everything else is your tool. But you want to hold on to the I am this, I am that, I like this, I like that. If you want to hold on to that, this becomes very, very difficult. You know, does it make sense?
Very much, doctor.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I want to have more interactive sessions. So if you guys want to come and also help me to moderate, that will be nice too. Bring more people and maybe we can share. Maybe people that would like these kind of things. I don't believe in just talking just for the talking sake. It has to be listened first, and then they should be able to apply them if they find those are applicable to them. Those are the truths they can investigate. So I always give the people their responsibility about finding out what is the truth. Even my patients also, we kind of engage in this thing. They most of the time they do whatever I tell them, but I want them to use their mind, make it their decision. Then we can they can really participate in that. And they do that. Lots of times, if you communicate to the people properly, a lot of people really want to improve their health. They may not want to go back because they have their own religious predictions and all. By the way, I'm not religious, if you did not catch it so far. And I'm also not just an Indian. I love India. I love United States for different reasons. But I'm a global citizen. I don't even want people to call them with a particular country and all that, thereby dividing themselves from other people. So there's a lot more in that. Our people were like that. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. They didn't say a particular. And then there's the prayer where the guru and sisha are together and they pray that we learn together. We don't compete with each other. We don't argue with and we kind of explore each intelligence. There's so much Socratic, our dialogue, our satsang, everything has so much depth of meaning. And people, I think, were very unfortunate that those things were not brought into our lives very early. Anybody else has any questions or comments or doubts? Chetna,
Great
Thara.
session, doctor. Great session.
Yeah. I mean, it all depends upon your questions also. I met Gary. I was very, very pleased with him. And then you guys came and you are also asking questions. That's good. But some people would just want to listen. That's also fine too. But if they have questions, more things will come out. I don't have an agenda to say except that let's discuss wellness and find out the ways and all that. But still I try to make some agenda like a relationship. Were you there this morning, Girija, when I was talking about
No, I
relationship?
just missed it. I
Yeah,
missed it.
yeah. Tomorrow we are going to start with the fear, not fear, energy. Tomorrow, energy.
Energy.
Yeah, I think you'll find it very practical because I find this energy, what's called ever renewing energy in the daily life. So you can have a busy life, you can have a lot of duties, but at the same time, you can renew your energy as you go along. So that's something everybody think, oh, this is extraordinary. No, it's very practical. I'm enjoying that, so I can tell you that the effect of that. We need the energy because we face a lot of patient problems, right? Some of them are very, very tough. And the more tough ones that I deal with, the better we feel, and also the experience grows. And with that, we can deal more complicated problems. So, like for example, my sister was in the hospital. She's still in the hospital. She's somebody that I talk to every day. But she had this bypass surgery done 15 years ago. and now the I think she experienced chest pain in a short number, took her to the hospital, and all the grafts were kind of blocked, So they called me, and then I have been on this case for 3 days now. Everything is stabilized, but then we had discussions with the cardiologist there and reviewed her cath and all that. What she has is where she had problem this time, the lack of oxygen to the area. That particular thing is very, very small arterial. If you put a stent there, that could itself be the problem. It could rupture the artery, and then it is very tricky. So I made a decision of treating her medically, and she improved with that. She's going home tomorrow. So even though that was so personal to me, such a complicated matter, I could do it with calmness. That is possible with our assistance. So regular life, you can be more calm rather than complicated problems like this. But that was a big decision, because some people may want to have stent, thinking that all stents are easy, stent will prolong all of that. But then they did the angiogram, but they could not do the stent because it was so small artery. They were hesitant about it. They had to bring in another cardiologist who has been doing it. Even then, he will also say he will do it with guarantee. You cannot do it, that guarantee. So that kind of complicated situations come my way all the time. So the because sometimes it could threaten my license and all that too if I make a wrong decision. But still, the important thing is how they gave us this stability, sthita pragnata. You know, so you have to have dispassion for that. To do that. Do you feel that is not really possible? Something like that, Nandana?
No, doctor, what I feel is it's really possible because it's all about the mindset, how you have trained
Yeah.
your mind. Because even in the situation of a pressure, I think it's the training that you have given to your mind that actually comes handy, because when we have concentrated on the inner, that's the point that you have
Yeah.
emphasized on throughout. And I feel
Yeah.
that when you have really worked on in your inner self, and that actually helps you to way through your life,
Yeah.
because
I, I will
doing
only
anything actually doesn't
I,
matter.
I will
It's
only add
just
one.
working.
I will only add alternate to the word you used, mind training versus mind transgressing. Initially,
Okay.
initially you have to train the mind, but after that you kind of transgress and stay in yourself. That is that is the spiritual heart. It's like a mind going back into the heart and staying, then it won't react like that. But initially training is needed because we are kind of went off so far. We have to bring it to where it can be, even we put into the heart. And after that, that is the thing, you don't have mind to train. It is already dissolved into the heart. But you're right, you need a lot of time and a lot of understanding, lot of perseverance with this. Turning inward is not that easy because all our intellect and our senses draws out all the time.
And what I find even more rare is, doctor, that you being in a medical profession, you being able to advocate spirituality, and then the power of mind, if I can use that, because ultimately, I mean, if you go to the micro level and the macro level of it, that is what you're actually trying to bring out, which is very true. So I think that is really beautiful, because especially certain professions, when we are in and when we bring out the truths that reach the people even more easily.
You know,
When you are in medicine, when you are in the medical fraternity, and if you are talking about these truths, it becomes very easy for people to follow, rather than when I'm in a different profession and then I tell people that these are the things that you need to do. Because I think profession and things, certain things help you to get the truth to the people more easily. Yeah.
yeah, there is something that we should bring it out here is most of the modern medicine is now turned into more like a quantum mechanics based, and it remained there. It has not opened up to the progress of the quantum theory of unified energy, and also energy as an important thing, and really understanding the mind and going beyond is there in quantum theory of unified field of theory, right? So people don't know relativity also very well too. But if you look at the scientists, they are exploring the consciousness, but that was already explored by the ancient, not just Indians, but other people also explored that too. Only thing is they concretized the whole thing, Indians, in a way that we can understand and practice. That is kind of in the middle of this, so many invaders, and also Indians themselves going every with the external god. Actually it's an internal god, and that is the life energy and all that. So why I'm saying it is, if you remain a physician just saying whatever these modern people wrote for 500 years is the truth and nothing else, then you will be misled. But on the other hand, science also finds the truth and approximates it as they develop, like a pandemic also. Initially, we don't know the genetic sequence. Then we know the variants. Then we know the what is happening with the sequence also. Like we are just our knowledge to the truths that we are finding out. Like that, ancient found the truths about the consciousness in their own self, because that was not a intellect. It's a intuitive shruti. Listen from the universal law. That's the difference. Most of the people don't have this kind of understanding. That's why they just think whatever they know with their little intellect is everything. That's why they cannot even perceive this. But if you take it, you should all responsible health consumers should know where the medical fields are, where the ancient fields are. There are caveats here, caveats there too. There, people may come out say, "I am the one who knows all the truth, and you have to follow," without giving a chance to examine, investigate. You have a right for that too. You have a responsibility for that too. I think that kind of thing has become very big deal because everybody is oriented towards only one faculty, not really inculcating that. For example, Gayatri Mantra, how many people know that will inculcate your intellect in a superior way? That is the purpose of the whole thing, you know. And then
And
there is a scale that they built these mantras, 437 megahertz or something like that. That is very, very healing, even if you repeat it without understanding. So there's so much. Earlier, Gary was talking about oxygenation, oxidative stress, and all that. That's very real at the cell level. But if you take Ojas, Tejas, Prana, these three things work at the cellular level. Ojas is the one that enhances the immunity. Tejas is the one that kind of communications of the cell. Girija, your field, cells communicate in their own way.
yes,
And then,
and
yeah, and then
if I
the,
could just add, sorry,
yeah, go ahead, add whatever you want to
no,
say.
no, no. I mean, please carry on. I'll say later.
Yeah, the Tejas is that, and the Prana is the one which is the energy from cell to cell, like that. So there's knew these things the epigenetics level, like they knew about the beach area, how it is carried on, and how the entire memory is through the mind. Memory is different, and the memory in the body is different. So they knew all these things before. So why Indians don't know about this is because they are simply aping the Western, thinking only the this is the standard. This is standard for some things, but it is limited in a way. When you embrace ancient wisdom like I did, uh, you know what? Another thing is, I'm not the only one though. If you take Oppenheimer, if you take Thoreau, if you take Emerson, any of the major American figures, they all embraced that. Upanishads, they said, it's the solace of my life. I think it was Thoreau, I think, who said that. And then uh, Oppenheimer, he compared Vishwarupa of Bhagavad Gita to the nuclear blast that they had with the bomb. You know, and there are so many other people. They said Upanishad stories of our life, and also Mark Twain. I think he said anything, everything under the sun. They have done this in this land. That was about India. How many people know about all this? I can show you 30 different Americans that are prominent, either they are founders or they're ex-presidents or major scientists and all of them. So it's only the or recent scientists that are they are also like a fundamentalist of the religion. They say only what we know is the fact. And some of the Indian doctors I met the other day, they don't want me to call yoga as science. He was so stupid in his understanding about that. He doesn't know anything about it. He wants to come make comment on that. So I told him, your studies are only 200, 500 years old, but this is like a thousands of years people practice. And so I had to tell them off, and they thought I was a bad guy. I was telling them that, but I was angry, and I told him that what I think about them. So don't be close-handed about anything. Not everything in the ancient is to be adopted, or not everything to be modern to be tossed out. Everything has its own merits, but we have to be respectful to that, not asserting your stupidity. You know what I call this lots of times? It is the ignorance of their own mind is ruling them. That's why they're not able to open up. So when you see a modern doctor doing this, there's so much history behind this. Nandana is right because a lot of modern doctors are not really looking at it. I wish they look at it like I did, and they will also be enamored by it, and probably they will contribute more to the contribution of the ancients. Study there are institutions in Andhra, Menninger Institute in Kansas, for example, Renegas or something in Indiana. I'm not pronouncing the name correctly, but there are so many in the Arizona, Sedona field, I think, no, California. There are so many people that do publish rave reviews of this ancient meditation, Ayurveda, and all of Ayurveda, for example, I will talk to you some other day. What it is you got to establish yourself in your real self. Then only you can examine a patient. A lot of people don't even know what it is, right? So it is all some people, real creators like Einstein or Tesla. They were all interested in Indian mythology, and they admitted how much they have contributed and all that. So you don't have to worry about these half knowledge people don't know anything about it. Take their own life. When I ask them, do you do you experience the silence in your mind? They will say, no, how that is possible? It cannot be possible in this age. So what can you tell? So if you tell them, oh, do you feel empty inside? Oh, sometimes. Do you have to take wine and smoke and all? Yeah, we are human. They go by the limitations, not by the possible. So it's not a question of not knowing those things. And I don't really blame them because the atmosphere is like that. But only when they challenge some of the things that were proven so many thousands of years ago. And my anger is they are not letting those things come to the advantage of my patient by being
And
yeah, stupid about it. That's what I'm saying.
right. And ancient wisdom has also taught so much about, the power of silence.
Yeah,
So if you have 2 minutes, can I just read out a poem I wrote on silence, if it's okay now?
yeah, go ahead, Julia.
Yeah, I would just do that. It's not a very long poem.
Yeah.
Silence. In silence rises the radiant sun, the moon softly beams. In silence sleeps the newborn infant full of pleasant dreams. Gently blooms the innocent bud in pin drop silence, gently giving the universe its sweet invisible fragrance. In silence is a quiet rhythm that just grows on you. In silence is a profound message sending a breakthrough. Silence is forever your trusted caring friend. Silence is a pathfinder at every turn and bend.
Yeah.
Silence is reflective time, offering faith and hope. Silence is a safe anchor guiding you to cope. In silence is perfect unison of soul, body, and mind. In silence is divine tranquility of the highest kind. Silently you learn to love the sublime cradle of silence, opening your mind to understand the significance of balance. Thank you.
Yeah, that you brought in what is called between the sun and moon. I might have talked about this. You might have heard about it. It's called Chidabhasa. You know what it is your mind is like a reflected moonlight. So that's not real light. Real light is coming from your inner self, which is Swaprakasha. This described it. It shines by itself like the sun. Sun shines by itself, that is reflected onto the moon, and the moon reflects it to the earth. Like that, our minds, whatever intelligence, whatever these people are talking about, they have covered their own Swaprakash sun completely, which is the self, which is in silence all the time. Because your real nature is silence. Actually, I think Krishnamurti or somebody, not Krishnamurti, I think Ramana may have said this. He said, speech uh, is the like a child. The speech is the child of the silence. So you are always with the child, but you're never into the parent, which is the silence. Uh, when you write these poems, that's very good insight. That indicates that you got to be in the silence to really experience it. But then, if you are working through the mind, then you are not in the silence. You are appreciating the silence, but you are not in the silence. So you will know whether you are in silence inside or not. Who can say that? I'm telling you that insights are so profound, so extraordinary. Uh, really makes you think like, where are we going? Why are we forgetting those things? I'm just inviting people to examine it for themselves. And then um, that is the thing. Bring it real in your life, not just saying about it, but it has to be operational in your life. Then you will really appreciate that. But that silence, Ramana Maharshi also, he taught the highest truths in silence. He was all these people are coming, right? He was sitting in the silence all the time. It seems Dattatreya before him, several generations ago, he did the same thing too. He taught the highest principles in silence. So that means what? Girija and Nandana are there for now, for example, now, right? Do you have your mind continuously thinking, or silence is allowing the thought to function? That means you are primarily in silence and then you are using the thought. If you are like that, then what happens is if you go somebody like Raman Mashi, who is at a higher frequency because he is called Mahat, Mahat state or Sahaja state, where he always in that Sahaja state. So you got to reach that frequency to really know what he's teaching to. Otherwise, you want to attempt with your more mind, however intelligent you are, you will not. By the way, they said for these truths, your mind can be shrewd, can be clever, can be cunning, can be erudite, read lot of books. Then only you can appreciate the silence and then all the lessons through that. Anyway, that's where I go esoteric, they say. But once you open it up, it goes to the depth. So I'm so enthusiastic to share these things. So when somebody brings that kind of thing, they all come out. I don't get prepared for this. They just come out. Another secret I will tell you here, not any derogatory to Clubhouse. I love Clubhouse because I made a lot of friends here. But uh, this kind of activity sometimes can be against the spiritual growth. Gati Nirodhakam, they call it. If you activate your mind, it goes on continuously thinking, and you get into that plasticity where the neuronal paths are formed as against your gati nirodhakam. That means your spiritual paths progress will be blocked. So what I talk, what I practice, totally um, proportion wise, that is much more than what I talk here. Because first of all, it has to be received, it has to be wanted, and then it will come out. But then even if you do it, what I do, my practice wise, what I where I explore everything is so much more than what I do on the clubhouse. That's why I can be safe and come and talk and answer people and go. You know, you understand what I'm saying, Gijanandana?
Absolutely, doctor, because I think to a certain extent, even I follow that because I mean, there has to be certain layer, there has to be certain separation between your real self and then
Yeah,
the one that you project outside.
yeah.
Because sometimes you need that rest, you need that interval, you need that pause to rejuvenate yourself, to gather that strength back again.
Mm.
And maybe in that strength, in that pause, you actually take more energy, receive more energy, and do the things that you really love to do. And then when you are fully active, and that's the time for you to share your knowledge with the world again so that you can make it a better place. So yes, I am absolutely with you on that particular aspect, and I totally understand what you said.
Yeah. I think Girja may be last on that probably. Right, Girja? Girja, are you there? No. Maybe she left already. No. Okay. Anyway, anything else? Anybody else wants to bring up anything, or can we close now? All right. I think it's already 9:30 above. Anyway, we will meet again tomorrow morning 6 o'clock my time for the yoga, and then 8 o'clock for the discussion of the New Year resolutions. The second letter E, energy, and then again in the evening 8 o'clock the same. Okay. And there we are going to talk about wellness ways, third pillar, rest and sleep. This entire week we will do that Monday through Friday. Okay. Morning 8 a.m. is this resolutions will be continued each letter, and then evening we'll do that wellness pillars, so that we do 2 more weeks left for that, and then this will be 10 days thing. So thank you all for joining me, and Nandana, it's a pleasure meeting you. Girija, thank you for coming and contributing. And everybody else also. Thank you all, Mahesh and Sumitra.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
Thank you
always
so much,
always
doctor.
Yeah, okay. I will see you tomorrow then. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everybody on the Instagram. I'll see you tomorrow.